a good-looking man, and any barmaid can be a star.
Welcome to another episode of A-List Classics, where we discuss must-see movies that are considered to be the greatest films of all time. I am your host, the Game Changer, Wes Troop. And with it being February, we're going to head back to 1970, where we're going to talk about one of the biggest romance films from that decade. It is a film that some may say, well, you really think this is a classic? It's considered to be one, and I'll give you my thoughts on that. But, in this episode, we're going to be discussing the 1970 romance film, Love Story. Oliver Barrett IV is the heir of an upper-class family who's currently attending Harvard University and ends up meeting Jennifer Cavallari, a working-class Radcliffe College student of classical music at the library. While they don't get along at first and have some huge differences between them, the two quickly fall in love. Oliver ends up proposing to Jenny when he learns of her plans to study in Paris and leave him behind. Jenny accepts the proposal, but things soon get even more awkward between Oliver and his father, who barely have a relationship as it is. After Jenny and Oliver get married, his father completely cuts him off financially. As the two struggle to stay afloat, they learn some heartbreaking news. Love Story is a sentimental romance film. It's a movie that many people are very mixed on, and while some doubt its status as a classic, it certainly has a cult following. Personally, while I didn't love the film and certainly thought it had some problems, I thought it was fine, and I've seen a lot worse in the recent years, most notably a good amount of the lesser Nicholas Sparks movie adaptations that flood the cinemas. The film is based on the best-selling novel of the same name by Eric Segal, who also wrote the screenplay. It's directed by Arthur Hiller, and it was released in theaters on December 16, 1970, and was a massive hit in theaters, becoming one of the highest-grossing films at that time. The movie starts off with kind of an odd choice, giving away what's going to happen in its opening sequence, so we know that the whole point of the film is to be a tragedy. Love Story certainly is full of Hallmark movie quality moments, and is definitely packed with some emotional and melodramatic scenes. The story itself is very basic overall, where Jenny and Oliver meet, don't like each other at first, but then quickly fall for each other. I did find myself enjoying most of the snappy banter between the lovers, as they playfully make fun of each other. There are some funny moments thrown in, both intentional and a few unintentional, unfortunately. I also thought the love scene between the two was very soap opera-ish and rather lackluster. While they have their highs together, of course the couple soon have to try to overcome their problems as well. There's a big storyline concerning the fights between Oliver and his father, who at first are actually fighting over things that don't really seem that bad. It really doesn't show Oliver in the greatest light, making him look like he's overacting, and actually makes him quite unlikable. When Jenny asks him to go to his father's 60th birthday party, he refuses, and they get into a big fight over it, and he won't give in, even as a favor to her. The film became known for its infamous quote, "Love means never having to say you're sorry," which of course is still well known today. When it comes to romance, it all comes down to the chemistry between the leads, which I felt they did have some moments, but I didn't really buy it all the time. I felt more charisma and emotion from the two might have helped a bit. The cast stars Ali MacGraw as Jenny Cavallari, the musical student who becomes a teacher after getting married, Ryan O'Neal as Oliver Barrett IV, the Harvard law student and hockey player who becomes a lawyer and has a ton of daddy issues, John Marley, who steals the show here as Phil Cavallari, Jenny's loving father, and Ray Milland as Oliver Barrett III, Oliver's father, who he has a rocky relationship with. Also look out for a young Tommy Lee Jones making his film debut. Love Story was nominated for 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Director for Hiller, Best Actor for O'Neill, Best Actress for McGraw, Best Supporting Actor for Marley, and Best Original Screenplay for Seagal. It won 1 Oscar for Francis Lay's Best Original Score, the most famous track, of course, being Theme from Love Story. The film did have a sequel called Oliver's Story, which was released in 1978, which was not successful at the box office. While Love Story can be a schmaltzy and cheesy film, if you're looking for a mostly decent tearjerker for a date night, it's still worth a watch. Alright, well that's the show. I'll be back with another episode of A-List Classics very soon. But until then, don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube. YouTube.com/WestsideOf515. Like the show on Facebook, Facebook.com/WestTroupeAlist. And of course, you can follow me on the Twitter and the Instagram @WestAlist. Until next time, Troop out.